Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to another tier list video. Yesterday, I dropped the relievers tier list. Now it's time for the starters. If you have enjoyed the content so far, please leave a like, subscribe if you have not done so yet. Before we get into it, let me just say this again. Pitching is extremely subjective, so take this with a grain of salt. It's more so of your opponent than what you're actually doing. I'm not saying that there is no skill, there absolutely is skill involved in pitching, but most of the time it's just a matter of who you are facing. So with that said, enjoy the intro.
When I was 16, I won a great victory. I felt in that moment I would live to be 100. Now I know I shall outlive 30. None of us know our end, really, or what hand will guide us there.
As always, we starting off with the F tier or the avoid tier. These six right here are pretty bad. I'm obviously being a little bit harsh on Uvalde and Robin Roberts. But those other four, those two lefties, they're probably the worst pitchers in the game. I really doubt anybody is stupid enough or naive enough. I don't want to sound too harsh here. I don't think you're stupid if you're using one of those four, but you're definitely naive. I still think there's a lot of people that see that 93 Kershaw and maybe they have Donaldson in their starting rotation, but they see that 93 overall on Kershaw and just assume he's better when he's actually just probably the worst pitcher in the game because of his pitch mix. So please do not use any of these guys that you're seeing here. They're horrible. I know that maybe you're a big Kershaw fan and you have not unlocked the 99 yet, then fine. If you're not just sweating your ass off in every ranked game, you can use him. I mean, at the end of the day, the point of this game is to have fun. And if you want to use Kershaw, go right ahead. This is more of a sweaty, meta chasing best pitchers for you to have the best chance to win the game. That's what this list is about, but I'm not saying just don't use these guys, like at all, never. If you have fun using Newhouser, then just keep using Newhouser. Simple as that. Moving on to D tier or the gimmicks tier. Everybody you see on this tier, I'm not saying they're bad, horrible, but I feel like they just only serve one purpose. Like, you're going to fry noobs with Chris Sale. You're probably going to abuse a bad player that cannot hit lefty lefty with Lodolo because he's so funky. You're probably going to destroy someone that just hacks at everything you throw in the dirt with Jim Cad. Someone that cannot touch outlier on All Star with Nolan Ryan and Paul Skeens. Same thing with Bob Feller and Satchel Paige. And if you just like to clown your opponent because they're just so bad, you're definitely playing on All Star. You can just abuse him and make him look like an absolute fool with Juan Marichal. You can do that, like, it's cool. I just don't think these guys can be useful, once you start playing good players. Like, Chris Sale doesn't have the stats. He's nasty once he gets, like a 97, 98, 99 card, but only against, certain type of players. Most of the time it's someone that's not very good at the game, let's just be honest. Every one of these guys will fry a very bad player more so than other pitchers in C tier, B tier, including some pitchers in A tier. That's just how this game works. I'm not saying these guys are horrible, but if you're like a World Series player, you're definitely not using anybody on this list. Let's move on. We move on into C tier or the you can just throw them out there here. Everybody here except for the first three lefties here, so Cliff Lee, Liberatore, and Christopher Sanchez. I would say those are Hall of Fame and above exclusive pitchers. Cliff Lee is super solid. Those hits per nine are atrocious. I'm not gonna lie, I only used him once and he threw 6 shutout innings, so maybe I'm a little bit biased there. But I just like Cliff Lee in general. But they're not going to wow you. None of these pitchers in this tier are going to wow you, but you can rely on them. They're probably going to go out there and throw 5, 6 innings and give up 4 runs. That's just a reality. Jared Jones throws very hard, has a okay pitch mix. He's fine. Waka, probably another pitcher that I would definitely not recommend using on All Star, but he's funky, so you might catch some bad players with him. Otani, very hard to control. You are going to lose the strike zone very easily, but he has some good stuff, so he's not just horrible. The new Priester, I think he's pretty bad, but he has the per 9, so maybe you can find a way to use him. He's not going to be just awful. Alcantara is kind of like a very poor man's version of Dustin May because he doesn't have the same pitch mix, but he throws an outlier sinker. A lot of people in this game cannot touch that pitch, so he's fine. DeGrom, already talked about him. Charlie Morton, honestly, I was excited for his card, but he has no speed differential, which really sucks. So he's going to be, for the most part, BP. Sonny Gray is very funky. He doesn't have the best pitch mix. He doesn't throw hard, but I feel like you can get away with throwing at least once through the order, and your opponent is going to have a very hard time figuring him out. But once he does, you're fried. So he's probably going to be only good for 4, maybe 5 innings. Jack Leiter and Brian Wu, they're pretty mediocre, but they will get the job done out there. Again, nobody in this tier has any wow factor or nasty stuff. But, they'll just eat some innings for you. Sometimes that's all you can ask from your pitchers in this game, to be honest. B tier or the solid tier. These 5 arms, they're just a little bit better than everybody on C tier. They probably have better pitch mix, better per nines, and a little bit more funky. This whole lighter still fucked. He's amazing. If you cannot afford the 95 overall one, or maybe you didn't make World Series this season, he's still great. Like, you can still kind of use this card on All Star. I probably would stay away from him because he doesn't have the best per nines. But on Hall of Fame, you can still use this guy. Like, he's still a lighter. He always works. That's Screwball. I mean, now that everybody just keeps seeing and Screwball, maybe you can get away with the fact that this card does not have Outlier and everybody just sees Screwball and expect to have Outlier. Honestly, I've had much more success with this live series card than the lighting player card, the lighting player of the month. But that's just me. I don't know why. Yu Darvish, good per nines, good control, doesn't have the best speed differential, but you can just work that sinker cutter, man. That's just so meta. Tom Seaver, not a very good pitch mix, but he throws that slow curveball or changeup. Pretty sure, I think he throws both a curveball and a changeup, right? I'm pretty sure he has 4-seam sinker, slider, changeup, curveball, and he throws like a 79 mile an hour changeup. He doesn't have outliers, so not that crazy speed differential wise. But he has the per nines. He's a 95 overall. Is he worth the stubs? Hell no. Hell no. This card's not worth 60k stubs. So maybe I probably messed the list up by having him here. And Drew Rasmussen, he's kind of like a Zach Wheeler with better per nines. So that's that. Let's move on. On to A tier, or the good fifth option tier. I know you're probably cringing at me having Screwball here, or maybe you're on the same page as me, but I just feel like everybody's struggling to pitch with this guy. His pinpoint is terrible. Even if you're on analog or maybe even meter, I wouldn't be surprised if you're having trouble pitching with this guy. But he has the stats, he's funky. If you're on a budget, he's definitely on your starting rotation. Like, if you don't have Clemens, I think he makes the best 5. But for me, I don't think he is a must. Same thing goes with May. I don't think he's as good anymore. He's probably a little bit dated. He still fucks. Like, he's still very, very good. Like, again, if you're on a budget, he is a must-have on your rotation. This Soriano card for 15k. I was gonna say he's the best value pitcher in the game that you can buy. Obviously, I mean, he's not better. I don't think he's better than May or than Screwball. But there's another guy in the S tier that you're going to see in just a minute. But this Soriano, outlier sinker, throws very hard, splitter guy, super solid, very good. If you have a God Squad and you're having trouble finding that guy, you can give this guy a go and see how it goes. This Zimmerman card, I have not seen this card in like 3 weeks, honestly, and I stopped using him the last weekend classic because he sold the game for me, and I just never forgave him and just completely took him out of my rotation. Forgot about his existence until I was making this video, because I honestly have not seen him online, like, at all. But he's still very good. On All Star, definitely don't use this guy. But on Hall of Fame, he's still funky. He still has very good control. Per nines are not amazing, but they still work at this stage of the game. Pedro Martinez, he throws hard. You can mix in that cutter and that changeup. So good pitch mix with outlier, solid per nines. What more can you ask for from your fifth starter? Jacob Misiorowski, I think he's very funky. If his outlier slider actually worked, I think I'd have to put him in the S tier, but for now, I'll just have to settle for the A tier. I've seen a lot of people use him, and he's good, but I've played against him a couple times, and he didn't wow me. I didn't thought he was anything special. And finally, Greg Maddox, the new fifth inning, one of the fifth inning bosses. This guy's a legend, exclusive pitcher. Don't try to use this guy in Hall of Fame because you're probably going to get shelled. I'm not saying don't try it, but for 55K, you can probably find somewhere else to spend those stubs. And if you're an all-star, Jack, don't even bother trying to use this card. You're going to get destroyed. So let's just move on into S tier. Finally, we made it to the big dogs. Obviously, Clemens and John Donne are going to be at the top of this list. I don't even have to talk about them. You guys already know those are the two best pitchers in the game. They're probably still in your nightmares. Clayton Kershaw, he makes it here because he is a 99. He has the stats. He's Clayton Kershaw. He's super hard to hit against lefty, especially when he's just that much better than a lot of the hitters in the game currently. Outlighter, he's expensive, and I probably wouldn't advise for you to use this card on All Star. But if you're Hall of Fame on above, he's out. Honestly, if you say he's better than Kershaw, I wouldn't hate it. I just don't think he is, but he has a very good case of being better than Kershaw, to be honest. Fernando Valenzuela, I know a lot of people say this guy's a legend exclusive pitcher or that you shouldn't be using this guy on All Star or Hall of Fame, but I've had a lot of success with this card. You guys already, if you have watched my videos, you have already seen my stats with him. I'll probably just add them right here on the screen so you can see that I'm not just bullshitting you and trying to trick you into using this guy unranked and for you to get shelled. Like, I'm being dead serious. I've used this card mostly on Hall of Fame and All Star, and you can see the stats. They're just speak for themselves. I don't have to keep yapping about how good this Valenzuela card is because he's just amazing, in my opinion at least. If you cannot pitch with him, just don't use him. Nate Pearson, I really wanted to put this guy in the A tier. Same thing with Randy. I was going to just throw out who I think is the ideal, or in my opinion, my best five so far this year. But I've had a lot of success with Nate Pearson. I have an ERA under 1 in 3 starts, so he's been super solid for me. Nasty pitch mix. You can use him on All Star. You can use him on Hall of Fame. You can use him on Legend. He's kind of like a mini Clemens. I know he's more of a 4 pitch pitcher because you're rarely going to throw that curveball. But he just works. He's super solid. He has good per nines. He's nasty. Throws like 104 if you have him P5. And Randy Johnson, I feel like, I don't know, this may be biased because I just hit him so well. I really don't think it's hard to hit this Randy at all, even on Hall of Fame. I have not faced him on Legend, so maybe that's why, and that's probably one of the reasons why. But you can still fry some noobs with this card on All Star. On Hall of Fame, people just have this like mental block against Randy. They feel intimidated by Randy, but in reality, he's just getting dated by now. He doesn't have the best per nine. He doesn't have very good control. So if you're facing someone that's patient, he's going to make you throw strikes, and if he can't touch that outlier fastball, you're going to have a very hard time. So that's my reasoning why maybe I wouldn't have Randy or Pearson in this tier, but I just had to include them. So this is the pick your 5 tier. I don't think you can go wrong as long as you use 5 of these guys that I have right here. I think that's like the most meta rotation that you can make in the game right now. I know a lot of people probably won't have Valenzuela in there, and that's fine. But like I said, I just love that card. I've been so good with him. He's probably been my second best pitcher so far this year, only behind Clemens, of course. But yeah, that is going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you learned something new. Let me know in the comment section down below if you're going to try a new pitcher. And if you did good, if you do well with him, I would love to know that as well. So maybe come back on tomorrow's video and let me know how that went. Until then, I'll catch you later.